Welcome once again. I'm Michael North. Now, the rest of our stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has called for outright debt cancellation for countries facing the most severe challenges. Buhari said this at the general debate of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 77, holding in New York, United States of America. Though he did not single out Nigeria in the debt forgiveness plea, available statistics put Nigeria's external debt at $39.69 billion as of March 2022. The Nigerian president explained that the multifaceted challenges facing most developing countries have placed a debilitating checkhold on their fiscal space. This is said equally calls for an urgent need to address the burden of unsustainable external debt through a global commitment to the expansion and extension of the debt service suspension initiative to countries facing fiscal and liquidity challenges. On energy transition, Buhari tasked global leaders and development finance institutions on the need to make funding and technology available to achieve energy transition success. Now, the federal government has approved public-private partnership projects valued at $9 billion over the last 11 years. A statement from the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission issued in Abuja quoted the Commission's Director General, Michael Ohiri, as saying that between 2010 and 2021, through ICRC's regulatory oversight, the federal government had approved PPP projects worth about $9 billion. Ohiani added that the Commission has midwifed many laudable projects which will go a long way to bridge the infrastructure gap in Nigeria, and, including the Lekki Deep Sea Port, which was at 98.07% completion. Others are the Nigerian Air Project, which will fly before the end of the administration, as well as the upgrade of 4 major international airports in Nigeria, amongst others. Ohiani told the delegation that some states were taking on PPP projects through the assistance of the ICRC. Noting the act of the Commission only confers on its regulatory functions for federal government projects, ICRC said he has set up a peer review mechanism to assist states. Now, data from the Debt Management Office has confirmed Lagos State as the most indebted subnational authority in the country. Of the 5.281 trillion naira owed by the states in the country, the state is topping the list with about 797.304 billion naira as of June 30, 2022. Following Nigeria's commercial and economic capital in the debt hierarchy, Delta State with 378.87 billion naira, Ogun with 241.78 billion naira, Rivers State 225.505 billion naira. Other heavily indebted states are Imo with 210.394 billion naira, Akwa Ibom 203.951 billion naira, Cross River 176.086 billion naira, Oyo 159.906 billion naira, Ogun 150.529 billion naira, Bayelsa 150.430 billion naira, Plateau 144.608 billion naira, Benue 143.547 billion naira, Bauchi 129.207 billion naira, Kano 125.186 billion naira, and Gombe 123.608 billion naira. The report listed Jigawa as the least debt of 45.135 billion naira, followed by Ebonyi and Kebbi with 59.171 billion naira and 60.417 billion naira, respectively. The agency said that the nation's public debt rose to 42.84 trillion naira as at June 30, 2022. According to the data from DMO, the figure represents 1.24 trillion naira increase above the debt stock as at the end of the first quarter of the year, which was 41.60 trillion naira. An analyst has explained the reasons behind Lagos's ranking as the fourth wealthiest city on the African continent. Public affairs analyst Olusegun Okwade, while giving kudos to the nation's commercial hub, noted that one key factor that gave states like Johannesburg and Cairo an edge over Lagos was federal might and government investment in key sectors of the states. He said this in reaction to the Africa Wealth Report 2022, released by Henley and Partners in partnership with New World Wealth, which ranked Lagos the fourth wealthiest city on the African continent.
I think we can still give kudos to Lagos State, who pride itself as a center of excellence, being ranked among the first four in Africa, although the country is being tagged the giant of Africa. But if you look at the statistics and the rationale behind this model, one key factor plays the key role in administration of activities, which, if you look at it, has actually given Lagos State an edge over its counterpart state or its counterpart other states when compared to activities. The area I feel Johannesburg, Cairo, and Cape Town maybe having an edge over Lagos is the involvement of the federal character, how they've been able to put their might behind some of these countries. If you look at the investment of South African government in the airport, the nature of activity when it goes to aviation, you discover that they tend to have an edge over us. You understand the challenges we face with aviation, and some other countries look at it to their to actually make well of the resources that they have.
Now, the Debt Management Office says investment in the various federal government of Nigeria securities by Nigerians is an act of patriotism. The Director General of the DMO, Patience Oniha, said this in her remarks the federal government of Nigeria Securities Insurance Awareness Program on Wednesday in Yola, Adamawa State. The exercise was jointly organized by the DMO and CSL Stockbrokers Limited. Oniha's address was delivered by Isiaku Muhammad, the team leader, project unit at the DMO. According to the DMO boss, by investing in FGN securities, citizens are contributing to nation building and assisting the government to meet its financial obligations. She noted that the DMO was a government agency saddled with the responsibility of managing the nation's public debt portfolio. Nigerians will not be able to use their NAIRA debt cards or debit cards for international transactions. A scarcity of foreign exchange, that's FOREX, worsens in Africa's largest economy and biggest oil exporter. Some banks have already alerted that customers on the latest development, while it was gathered that others are keenly watching activities before implementing the policy, owing to the scarcity of FOREX. This development is coming a few months after banks in the country reduced the monthly international spending limit on NAIRA cards to as low as $20. The daily international withdrawal limit has been around $100 for most banks until March, when banks cut international spending. Banks had in 2020 stopped the use of NAIRA cards for ATM foreign currency withdrawals while reviewing monthly international spending using NAIRA cards from $500 to $300 and ultimately to $100. According to the data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria's external reserves depreciated by $1.37 billion, that's 3.37% in the first 6 months of 2020, to $39.16 billion as of June 30, from $40.52 billion it closed in 2021. This is despite the recent surge in global energy prices. Nigeria exported agricultural goods worth 343.4 billion naira in the first half of the year, an increase of 17.3% from 292.8 billion naira recorded in the corresponding period of 2021. This is, however, a rise of 61.9% compared to 212.1 billion naira recorded in the second half of 2021. This according to a breakdown in the Foreign Trade Report released by the National Bureau of Statistics. On the other hand, Nigeria imported agricultural goods worth 907.8 billion naira in the first half of 2022. This represents an increase of 11% compared to the 817.52 billion naira recorded in the corresponding period of 2021, while it declined by 21% from 1.15 trillion naira recorded in the second half of 2021. This implies that Nigeria recorded an agricultural negative trade balance of 564.4 billion naira, indicating that Nigeria continues to deal with recurrent trade deficits in terms of its agricultural trade. This is despite huge investments by the federal government in the agricultural sector. Meanwhile, cocoa, beans, sesame seeds, and cashew nuts topped the lists of agricultural goods that Nigeria exported during the period, earning Nigerians an aggregate sum of 262.99 billion naira. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we continue the news with more stories from Africa's scene.